Take a look here. We're still in week 6. What is the arithmetic sequence formula? Well, it's a to the n equals a sub 1, which is your first term, plus n minus 1 times d, and d is the common difference. Okay, so in order to write this formula, you need to make sure that it is an arithmetic sequence, which means the number is the same regardless. So if you look here, this one is increasing by 5. 9 plus 5, 14 plus 5, and 19 plus 5. So the difference is 5. If the number was not the same, you could not use this formula. Okay? So it says find the sequence. So it's going to be a to the n equals the first term, which is 9, plus n minus 1 times 5, the common difference. You can simplify that if you want. You could go ahead and distribute and get 5n minus 5. And when you do that, 9 minus 5 is 4. So you could say a to the n is equal to 4 plus 5n. Okay? You don't have to simplify it, but you could. This is the formula. On your test, they may make you simplify it. I don't know. So you'd have to distribute and combine like terms. This one right here, they want a to the 23. They want the 23rd term. Okay? So n is 23. And you're going to put a 1 underneath that like that. Okay? So let's see what we're going to do here. This is going to be 8 goes into 11 one time with 3 left over, I think it is. So it's 3 over 8. Now 3 over 8 is a decimal. Let's see if it is a decimal that doesn't repeat. So 3 divided by 8 is going to give me 0.375. So I'm going to get 1.375 plus 2 goes into 23. So 23 divided by 2 is going to give me 11.5. So plus 11.5. And it looks like it's going to be 12.875. And that's the 23rd term. This one right here, try these two. Okay, so on these two right here, your first term is 35. So it's going to be a to the n equals 35 plus n minus 1 times 4. And again, you can distribute. This one wants the 36th term. Put a star by this one. Well, they tell you the 36th term, so that's going to go here. So you're going to put negative 276 here. Okay? You don't know, that's a different problem. You don't know the first term, a sub 1, n minus 1 times the difference. There's the setup. Now you got to solve that equation for a1, and you have the first term. So you're going to distribute. That's going to be a negative 7n. And this is 2 negatives, so that's going to be plus 7. At this point, you're going to solve this equation here. And actually, this should be 36 right here, because it is the 36th term. So that's going to be 36 minus 1. That should be 35. So let me back out of this here and just take it as a sub 1 plus 35 times negative 7. Okay, that's better. All right, at this point, you're going to go ahead and multiply that. So it's 35 times 7. I get 245. So I'm going to get negative 276 is equal to a sub 1. This should be a negative 245. And then what you want to do is add 245. So put a star by this one. And let's see what that works out to be. So your first term is going to be minus 276. Your first term is a negative 31. And if you want to find the next term, you would go ahead and subtract 7 from that. That would be the second term. And you could keep subtracting until you get to your fifth term. All right, make sure you understand that. Now this one right here, let's see what's going on. This is a sequence. So you want to find the 100th term, and this is example 1 on page 83. So open up a book. So you start by saving 1125 plus n minus 1, so that's 100 minus 1 times 70 cents. And there's your arithmetic sequence. And you'd have to work this out. And that's how much money you would have at the end of 100 days. Okay, I gave you a worksheet because I wanted you to understand that. Let's go on to the next problem here. Turn the page or look for example 2 in your book. All right, so you got to change this to a decimal, so that's 1.25%. And you might say, well, how do you do that? You take the top number, 1, always the top number divided by the bottom number. I know some of you had a question on that. That's 0.25. So it's 1.25. This one is 3 divided by 8 is 0.375. So this is 1.375. This one stays the same. This one is a bunch of 3s or 1 3 there. And they want it ascending. That means going from low to high. So which one's the smallest one? Okay, well look at how you do it. See how this one's 1.2 and this one's 1.2? So they're even. This is 0.25, but this one is 0.22. So this one would be smaller. So I'm going to say 1.22, then I'm going to say 1.25, and then between these two, 0.3 and 0.3, they're even, but this is a 0. So 0 is smaller than that 7. So you got to compare spot by spot. So then it's going to be 1.3% would be next, and then the biggest one is 1.375. And this is called ascending, going from the low number to the high number. All right, one more. Take a look at this one, example 3. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Write that down. Okay, so you want to find the balance, $500 or more, no charge. And actually, this is a different problem. So let's see what's going on. You have $716 in the bank. You withdraw $225. If you go under 500, you got to pay $4 fee. Let's see if he went under. So take 716 minus 225. He went under. So he's under 491. So now he has 491 and plus he's got a $4 charge. And actually you got to subtract the $4 because that's a charge. And so that's going to be whatever that is, 387. So it's going to be 487 it looks like. Okay, so check it out in the book. Here's the one with the interest problem. Copy that down. Okay, so principal is what you deposit. So that's I equals PRT. Copy that formula. The principal is 1200. The rate, you got to move your decimal to change it to from a percent to a decimal. So that's 0.015. And then times the time is 3 years. Okay, so you multiply that, and that gives you how much interest you have to pay or how much interest you make depending on what you're doing. Now, this is always expressed in years. So if they say 3 months, then you got to take 3 divided by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. Okay? Today's work is right here in the book. And actually, um, the work is going to be page 87. I want you to try 1 through 20. And if you need to, read the examples and make sure you check the answers in the back of the book. Let's turn our attention now to, actually, you know what? Today's work is right here. It's a worksheet. And it looks like it's going to be I equals P R T. And this is worksheet C. And there it is. Okay? So we have the worksheet. Let's move on now to college algebra. So on college algebra right here, you had these problems yesterday. And I want to see if you can do them. You want to find the endpoint. So the midpoint here, the midpoint 2, 5, is equal to your x's. So it's going to be negative 4 plus x divided by 2. And it's equal to your y's, which is 3 plus y. You need to know how to do this problem. So you're going to take your x equal to your x. So 2 is equal to negative 4 plus x divided by 2. And 5 is equal to 3 plus y divided by 2. And then you got to work them out. Now some kids are like, well, I can't work it out. Okay, well, 2 times 2 is 4 equals negative 4 plus x. You want to add 4. I get x is equal to 8. So this one should be an 8. This one right here I get 10. And when I subtract 3, I get 7. So this one should be a 7. And there's the endpoint. You can check it. If you add this up, you get 4 divided by 2, you get 2. You add that up, you get 10 divided by 2 is 5. This is the answer. This one right here, when you subtract, you can borrow. So you can borrow 1. Since your denominator is 3, you can make it 3 over 3. You can make it anything you want, but we want to use 3. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and 4 minus 2 is 2. Make sure you can do that. This one right here, you want to find the least common denominator, which is 24. So you want to go ahead and multiply by 3, and you want to multiply this one by 8. So you're going to get 3 over 24 plus 8 over 24, which equals 11 over 24. Okay, remember, to find your least common denominator, you take the biggest one, which is 8. Does 3 go into 8? No. Does 3 go into 16? No. Does 3 go into 24? Yes. All right, copy this one down. This is what we're doing today, multiplying. You have to be able to factor. Okay, so if you look here, the bottom one right here is easy to factor. That's just 1 and 5. And we want a plus here and a minus here. This one right here, they have an x in common, so you're going to take an x out, and you're left with x squared minus 2x, or minus 3x, plus 2. And then this one right here factors further. So this is going to be x, and then it's going to factor into an x, a 1, an x, and a 2, and 2 negatives. So you got to factor it all the way. This one right here, you can take out a 2x, and when you do, you're going to get 2x, 2x minus 3, I think it is. Okay? And then up here, you got to factor this. So 2 times 6 is 12, and you're looking for a 1. There's a 1 right here. So it's got to be 3 and 4. 3 times 4. So what you want to do is substitute the 3 and the 4 in place of this right here. So you're going to have 2x squared, and make this a little smaller. 2x squared, and then you're going to substitute for that. So you're going to have 3x and 4x minus 6. And then here, you want a plus with the bigger one here, and you want to change that to a minus. You want to take out an x, and you're left with 2x minus 3. This one you want to take out a 2, and you're left with 2x minus 3. You're going to take out a 2x minus 3, and you're left with the x plus 2. So you have to be able to factor. So it's 2x minus 3, and then x plus 2. And this is the whole reason that I try to teach you how to factor. That cancels. This cancels. Okay, so you're left with x plus 2, that x is part of your answer, and then x minus 2, and then down here you're left with 2x, and then x plus 5. So it's a lot of work. You have to be able to factor and factor correctly. Today's work is a worksheet, and I'll work some of these with you. If you can't be with us, we're going to do the first side right here. If you finish the first side, then go on to the back side, which looks like this. All right, have a good morning, and I'll see you in class.